Hello and welcome to Connect. I'm your host, Randy Shabilo. On today's show, we'll have Shad Ali talking about the upcoming Canada Day celebrations. As well, he'll shed a little bit of light into what else is happening in the city for events this summer. As always, we'd like to connect with you.
Follow us on Facebook at ConnectYXE. Catch past interviews on our YouTube channel, email us at connectyxe@gmail.com, or leave a message at 306-665-3796.
Saskatoon is having a Canada Day celebration July 1st. We've got today a very important person that's going to be leading that with us, Shad Ali from On Purpose Leadership. Shad, thanks for taking some time coming to the studio in person.
Thank you, Randy.
Appreciate you coming in. Let's talk a little bit about the Canada Day celebration. It's been on for a number of years. And then with the pandemic, it's kind of had to change, but there's some big change coming on the horizon. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, major changes coming now. First of all, it's going to be nice to be able to get back in person to celebrate our nation, right? So, but before we go too far, there's a major thank you that has to be done, because the Canada Day festivities have really been hosted in the city by a community group of volunteers, and the Optimist Club of Saskatoon really deserves a huge shout out and thank you from our city, because they've done a really amazing job over the last 40 plus years putting this on. You know, I had the opportunity to talk to one of the guys that was a former chair. I won't name him, but he said to me, his friends will know who he is when I say this story. He actually told me that, Chad, for the first time since 1994, I will be able to spend my daughter's birthday with her and our family, because it's on June 30th. And so, you know, they've done an amazing job. And we sometimes forget what these folks who volunteer for things in our city, what they compromise, what they sacrifice when they're making those commitments, right? So I want to make sure we give a huge shout out to the Optimist Club of Saskatoon for their dedication over the years.
And that's been a long time that the service club that they are, and they're not going away. It's just a transition, it seems. So they'll still be involved. But, you know, for the decades that it was at Diefenbaker Park, what's going to happen with the location this year?
Yeah, so one of the things that was kind of interesting with this change, with them needing to step away, we were able to bring together a really tremendous committee. That committee includes people from the city of Saskatoon, from our three, what I call our three core business improvement districts. So Broadway's improvement district, certainly, Riversdale, and then downtown. And then we have people from Tourism Saskatoon, and of course, On Purpose Leadership is providing the management behind it. So one of the things, once we brought that group together, it actually made sense, given some of the other changes going on in our city, to actually look at bringing this event downtown. And so we will actually be bringing that event with the core activities happening in downtown, but you'll actually see activities spreading and going across all three of those business improvement districts as well. And, you know, especially after the 2 years that we've all had, right? This is kind of, we're looking at it as a great way to really maybe spur on some enhanced business on that weekend. It's going to be a Friday this year. So anybody that's planning to go to the lake, they can still do that on Saturday and Sunday, but come and stay for Canada Day on the Friday. Support your businesses in these three districts and throughout the city, really. And then also bring your family and have a great time. So there are a couple of different spots we'll be using, Randy. Core activities, River Landing 1, right? We'll be down in that area. But we also have an amazing thing that we're going to be telling people about, I hope, today as well, about what's going on in Victoria Park.
So the event itself is moving from Prairieland Park to downtown, the Riverbank area. If I said parlayed like the fireworks festival we usually have in September, that general area?
Yeah, actually very similar area. In fact, we will have fireworks on that day. That's our plan anyway, and we will fire those from the Broadway Bridge. One of the things that the community has kept telling us, and I remember talking to our mayor about this a couple of years ago, and putting vendors, food trucks and those kind of things on the traffic bridge, and animating that bridge and allowing people to come on and visit those vendors, but they can actually stand on there and watch the show from there as well. And so people get a real kick out of being able to do that, it seems. So we'll have food trucks and those kind of things on the traffic bridge, fireworks off the Broadway Bridge. And then in the amphitheater in River Landing 1, we'll have cultural showcase, a lot of the entertainment and so on will be happening there. Nasser Plaza, oh my gosh, that thing is going to be fully programmed, right? So TD Bank is going to be on there, actually. They'll be doing a special program as well with us this year, and so will Nutrien. So they've both come on board to help us actually bring some important things together. One of those elements is we'll be encouraging people to bring down a non-perishable food item that we'll collect and give that over to the food bank, Saskatoon Food Bank. But when you do that, and really if you didn't, we'll of course give you a taste, but what we're going to provide is we're going to provide a taste of bannock so that people can get to see. And it's amazing how many people have never tasted bannock. They heard about it before. And it's kind of an interesting concept because when we talk about our theme this year, we've said our theme is honoring, right, a respectful honoring of our nation. Well, bannock, the version we have now, is really a Scottish kind of tradition. But what is little known is that our Indigenous people had a version of bannock that used pine cones and needles and a couple of other things, and they used to roast it over fires. And so we want to be able to tell those kind of stories and allow people to learn from that, right? So TD Bank, Nutrien, they'll be doing that in Nasser Plaza. There's a ton of stuff for people to enjoy there as well, right? So they can come in and everything from getting your face painted, getting henna done on your hands, you name it. We'll have a number of things that people will be able to enjoy there, pop-up dances and so on as well. So it's going to be a great day down there for sure.
The weather will always be a factor, and I think this is going rain or shine from what we've talked about.
Rain or shine, and you know what? I do my diligence. I went back and looked at the last 10 years, and there's only 1 year in the last 10 years that they had inclement weather on July 1st. So we're looking for fantastic weather. The reality is rain, snow, sleet, any of that stuff, we can still do fireworks. And many of the activities that we have down there, we can actually still do. I remember a couple of years ago during the fireworks festival, we were celebrating the 40th anniversary of Persephone Theatre, I think, that year. And so we had music and songs and words from performances that had happened there. It was pouring rain that year, right? And yet people came down on the riverbank and were dancing to the music, right? And so people were dancing in the rain, another song, right? And they were in there just enjoying the festivities. So Saskatoon is a pretty resilient group of people when it comes to weather. That doesn't seem to really hamper us too much.
Well, given the high numbers of people that come out for winter shines, I'm sure they could, handle plus 10 or 12 degrees. When we see a lot of this unfolding, the Optimist Club have really set the tone and planted some good seeds over the years. So do we have a sense of how many people we would expect to come down throughout the day?
Well, this will be interesting. I mean, typically they'll get anywhere between 20 and 25,000 people when this was being hosted out at Diefenbaker Park. When we put the Fireworks Festival down in this same vicinity, we will get over the 2 days, because we usually run that 2 different days, we'll get 60, 65,000 people. So that means we're talking 30, 35,000 people each day. Being that it's a Friday, it's of course a holiday, I suspect we could get, and I think people really want something good and positive to get behind and do in person. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to actually push this number up. So we're planning, all of our plans and arrangements are so that we'll have somewhere between 30 and 35,000 people down there throughout the day. And, there's stuff planned, Randy, from 11 o'clock, that food bank and bannock program I talked about, that'll start at 11. All our food truck vendors and so on will start at noon. And entertainment on the cultural stage will start at noon. If people want to see what the entertainment lineup is, I encourage them to go to the website, right? CanadaDaySaskatoon.ca is that website. I think one of the kickoff acts is going to be the Chinese School of Dance. This is one of the most professional, non-professional dance troupes in our city, right? Them, Pavlichenko, right? And, these groups do really amazing performances. They're well-trained, well-studied. And so they're our first performance that's going to happen. We also, there's some interesting, strange things happening in our world today. And this province in particular, in this city, we have a very strong Ukrainian population here. And as you know, the Ukrainian people right now are facing some very difficult times. So as part of our honoring of this nation on that day, we will actually have an honoring of our Ukrainian citizens and families that live here with us. And there are a number of them who have actually traveled to Canada recently and now have started making Saskatoon their home. And so we're looking forward to working with the Canadian Congress and welcoming some of them, and we'll have some performances and speeches and whatnot. There's one performance that we're looking forward to. There's a young lady here in the city who's going to do a couple of vocal performances. This is going to blow people away, right? It's going to be amazing.
We have a couple of venues, I guess, throughout the day, and then there will be another free stage, I guess. They're all free.
Oh, yeah.
A bigger stage in Victoria Park.
Yeah, so all the
happening
cultural entertainment and those kind of things, which will, that Ukrainian program, the Chinese dancers, African dancers, all of that is happening down at that amphitheater at River Landing. Come up along the river, we'll have some other performances, those inflatable toys and all of that kind of stuff as you walk along the riverbank and start heading down towards River Landing too. So now we're walking in from downtown to Riversdale territory, right? We start coming up, where that statue is that commemorated the kind of switching, I guess, of the blankets and all of those kind of the exchange of the blankets and so on. So we have that TP statue there. Down from all of that, jumpy toys, right? Go to town families. And then you walk up a little bit further and you hit Victoria Park, right? Go past the Ting, you know where that is, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful structure that's been donated to the city by the Chinese community. When you get up into Victoria Park proper, we will have a stage that we're co-hosting with the Saskatchewan Jazz Festival. Free concert, Juno nominated, Tenille Arts is going to be performing. And I have a big announcement that is exclusive to be today announced, Randy. Are you ready for that?
I am.
We will be broadcast live on CBC as part of the national celebration show. Saskatoon will be one of 5 cities that will be going live to air on Canada Day with Tenille Arts. So it's going to be spectacular.
As it should be, as Saskatoon finally emerges from the wrapper and cocoon that we've been under. And I want to thank you and On Purpose and the committee for all of the work that's gone into this. And I'm looking forward to seeing this come off on July 1 and have everybody out there in bigger numbers than we've ever seen. Thanks for taking time out today and shedding some light on that. We'll see you on the 1st. I look forward to that. There's 2 things I have to tell you before we sign off. 1, we will have birthday cake on Canada Day. And 2, CanadaDaySaskatoon.ca is where they can get all the information. Thank Perfect.
you, Randy.
Thanks so much, Chad. Stay with us, folks. We're coming right back.